Привет! Добро пожаловать снова на канал.
Я Lang.
Добро назад на канал. Я сам Dawg.
Vítejte zpět na našem kanále.
Здравейте! Добре дошли отново в канала.
The four languages spoken above have one major thing in common. They are all Slavic languages. It is very easy to see how they are related yet different at the same exact time. But the first thing to know about Slavic languages is that they are clearly related yet separated into different branches. Russian, for example, is an East Slavic language, Czech is a West Slavic language, Bulgarian is a South Slavic language, and Serbo-Croatian, or Serbian and Croatian, are in between being a South Slavic language and a Western Slavic language.
We've picked 4 Slavic languages, but that doesn't mean there aren't other Slavic languages. In fact, quite the opposite. There are more than 20 Slavic languages spoken in Europe, as we will learn in a minute.
But before we get into that, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss anything we upload. It's basically a win-win because we get views and you get entertainment. What could go wrong? With that said, let's get into the video, comrade.
The Slavic languages, also known as the Slavonic languages, are Indo-European languages spoken primarily by the Slavic peoples and their descendants. They are thought to descend from a proto-language called Proto-Slavic, spoken during the early Middle Ages, which in turn is thought to have descended from the earlier Proto-Balto-Slavic language, linking the Slavic languages to the Baltic languages in a Balto-Slavic group within the Indo-European family.
The Slavic languages are conventionally, that is, also on the basis of extra-linguistic features, divided into 3 subgroups, as previously stated, East, South, and West, which together constitute more than 20 living languages. Of these, 10 have at least 1 million speakers and official status as the national languages of the countries in which they are spoken. These languages are CSGO language, also known as Russian, Belarusian, Ukrainian, which are all in the East Slavic group, Polish, Czech, and Slovak, which are the West Slavic group, Bulgarian and Macedonian, Eastern members, and then we have Serbo-Croatian, which can be Serbian, Croatian, and Slovene, which are Western members of the South group. So as I said, they're kind of in between there. Furthermore, Alexander Dudishenko recognizes a number of Slavic microlanguages, both isolated ethnolects and paraphysical dialects of more well-established Slavic languages.
Slavic languages are highly fusional and, with some exceptions, have developed inflection and cases. The word order of the Slavic languages is mostly free.
Yeah, especially in Russia. Not Russia. Yeah, especially in Russian, which has a total of 6 freaking cases. Reminds me of Latin. Gosh, I need some vodka and rakisha to process this.
The current geographical distribution of natively spoken Slavic languages includes the Balkans, Central and Eastern Europe, and all the way from Western Siberia to the Russian Far East. Furthermore, the diasporas of many Slavic peoples have established isolated minorities of speakers of their language all over the world. The number of speakers of all Slavic languages together was estimated to be 315 million at the turn of the 21st century. It is the largest ethno-linguistic group in Europe.
Slavic languages descend from Proto-Slavic, their immediate parent language, ultimately deriving from Proto-Indo-European, the ancestor language of all Indo-European languages, via a Proto-Baltic Slavic state. During the Proto-Balto-Slavic period, a number of exclusive phonology, morphology, lexis, and syntax developed, which makes Slavic and Baltic the closest related groups of all the Indo-European branches.
A minority of Baltics maintain the view that the Slavic group of languages differs so radically from the neighboring Baltic group, Lithuanian, Latvian, and the now extinct Old Prussian, that they could not have shared a parent language after the breakup of the Proto-Indo-European continuum about 5 millennia ago. Substantial advances in Balto-Slavic accentology that occurred in the last 3 decades, however, make this view very hard to maintain nowadays, especially when one considers that there was most likely no Proto-Baltic language, and that West Baltic and East Baltic differ from each other as much as each of them does from Proto-Slavic. Influence on neighboring languages.
Now, most languages of the former Soviet Union and of some neighboring countries, for example, Mongolian, are significantly influenced by Russian, especially in vocabulary and writing system. Many surrounding geographic areas that were swallowed up by the Soviet Union adopted their own forms of the Cyrillic alphabet, as that is the alphabet Russian uses. The Romanian, Albanian, and Hungarian languages show the influence of the neighboring Slavic nations. especially in vocabulary pertaining to urban life, agriculture, and crafts and trade. In each one of these languages, Slavic lexical borrowings represent at least 15% of the total vocabulary.
Germanic languages. Max Vassmer, a specialist in Slavic etymology, has claimed that there were no Slavic loans into Proto-Germanic. However, there are isolated Slavic loans, mostly recent, into other Germanic languages. For example, the word for border in modern German Grenze, Dutch Grens, was borrowed from the common Slavic Krenika. There are, however, many cities and villages of Slavic origin in eastern Germany, the largest of which are Berlin, Leipzig, and Dresden. English derives quark, a kind of cheese and subatomic particle, from the German Quark, which in turn is derived from the Slavic tvarog, which means curd. Many German surnames, particularly in eastern Germany and Austria, are Slavic in origin. The Nordic languages also have torg, torv, marketplace from Old Russian truhu, or Polish targ, homo, draka, reke, reje, shrimp, prawn, and via Middle Low German, tolk, interpreter, from Old Slavic truku, and pram, barge, from West Slavonic pramu.
Finnic and Slavic languages have many words in common. According to Petri Kallio, this suggests Slavic words being borrowed into Finnish languages as early as Proto-Finnic. Many loanwords have acquired a Finnicized form, making it difficult to say whether such a word is natively Finnic or Slavic.
The Czech word robot is now found in most languages worldwide, and the word pistol, probably also from Czech, is found in many European languages. A well-known Slavic word in almost all European languages is vodka, a borrowing from Russian vodka, literally little water, from Common Slavic voda, water, cognate to the English word water, with a diminutive ending ka. Owing to the medieval fur trade with northern Russia, Pan-European loans from Russian include such familiar words as sable. The English word vampire was borrowed, perhaps via French vampire, from German vampire, in turn derived from Serbo-Croatian vampir. Continuing Proto-Slavic, I don't know how to say that, although Polish scholar K. Stachowski has argued that the origin of the word is early Slavic, going back to Turkic obir.
Several European languages, including English, have borrowed the word polje, meaning large, flat plain, directly from the former Yugoslav languages. During the heyday of the USSR in the 20th century, many more Russian words became known worldwide. Da, Soviet, Sputnik, Perestroika, Glasnost, Kosovo, etc. Another borrowed Russian term is samovar, which means self-boiling. I don't know why that's famous, but it is.
Cyrillic Script. This wouldn't be a Slavic language comparison video without us mentioning the script used for a lot of these languages, the Cyrillic Script.
The Cyrillic script, Slavonic script, or simply Slavic script is a writing system used for various languages across Eurasia. It is the designated national script in various Slavic, Turkic, Mongolic, Uralic, Caucasian, and Iranic-speaking countries in southeastern Europe, Eastern Europe, the Caucasus, Central Asia, North Asia, and East Asia, and used by many other minority languages. Whew! Also, I meant to say Iranian languages, not ironic languages, bro. Imagine your language being ironic, lol.
As of 2019, around 250 million people in Eurasia use Cyrillic as their official script for their national languages, with Russia accounting for about half of them. With the accession of Bulgaria to the European Union on the 1st of January of 2007, Cyrillic became the third official script of the European Union, following the Latin and Greek alphabets.
The early Cyrillic alphabet was developed during the 9th century AD at the Preslav Literary School in the First Bulgarian Empire during the reign of Tsar Simon I the Great, probably by the disciples of the two Byzantine brothers Cyril and Methodius, who had previously created the Glagolic script. Oh my gosh. Among them were Clement of Ohrid, Naum of Preslav, Constantine of Preslav, Joan of Escaric, Colonel Colchis, Habor, Angolar, Sava, and many other scholars. The script is named in honor of Cyril. That was a huge lore dump, bro. That was like more lore than like the entire story of Dark Souls. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Elden Ring got nothing on the freaking Cyrillic alphabet. Oh my gosh.
Etymology of the script. Since the script was conceived and popularized by the followers of Cyril and Methodius in Bulgaria, rather than by Cyril and Methodius themselves, its name denotes homage rather than authorship.
As stated before, modern scholars believe that the early Cyrillic alphabet was created at the pre-Slav literary school, the most important early literary and cultural center of the First Bulgarian Empire, and of all Slavs.
Unlike the churchmen in Ohrid, pre-Slav scholars were much more dependent upon Greek models and quickly abandoned the Glagolitic scripts in favor of an adaptation of the Greek uncial to the needs of Slavic, which is now known as the Cyrillic alphabet.
A number of prominent Bulgarian writers and scholars worked at the school, including Naum of Preslav until 893 AD, Constantine of Preslav, Joan Eskar, and Kurnoritz Hrabar, among others, helped create the script. I know these names mean nothing to you, but they were Chads. The school was also a center of translation, mostly of Byzantine authors. Now, the most important part. The Cyrillic script is derived from the Greek Uncial script letters, augmented by ligatures and consonants from the older Glagolitic alphabet for sounds not found in Greek. Glagolitic and Cyrillic were formalized by the Byzantine saints Cyril and Methodius and their Bulgarian disciples, such as Saints Naum, Clement, Angeler, and Sava. They taught and spread Christianity to the whole of Bulgaria.
Cyrillic spread among other Slavic peoples, as well as among non-Slavic Romanians. The earliest datable Cyrillic inscriptions have been found in the area of Preslav, in the medieval city itself, and at nearby Petlina Monastery, both in present-day Shumen province, as well as in the Rivna Monastery and in the Varna Monastery. The new script became the basis of alphabets used in various languages in Orthodox Church-dominated Eastern Europe, both Slavic and non-Slavic languages such as Romanian until the 1860s. For centuries, Cyrillic was also used by Catholic and Muslim Slavs. The literature produced in Old Church Slavonic soon spread north from Bulgaria and became the lingua franca of the Balkans and Eastern Europe.
So in summary, the thing that you got to take away is that Cyrillic is derived from Greek. Cyrillic and Glagolitic were used for the Church Slavonic language, especially the Old Church Slavonic variant, which still exists. Hence expressions such as However, even though there was kind of an order to the Church Slavonic alphabet, not every Cyrillic alphabet uses every letter available in the script, and so the order is a little bit muddy today. The Cyrillic script came to dominate the Glagolitic script in the 12th century. And the Cyrillic script is still big now, but it's important to know that basically every language that uses the Cyrillic script, it adapts the letters to match their own sounds of the language. Bosnian Cyrillic is an extinct variant of the Cyrillic alphabet that originated in medieval Bosnia. Paleographers consider the earliest features of Bosnian Cyrillic script had likely begun to appear between the 10th or 11th century with the Humek tablet. Nice. To be the first such document using this type of script and is believed to date from this period. Bosnian Cyrillic was used continuously until the 18th century, with sporadic usage even taking place in the 20th century, but it eventually died out. In the early 1700s, the Cyrillic script was used in Russia and was heavily promoted by Peter the Great, who had recently returned from his grand embassy in the Western Europe. He called for the Cyrillic script to be used in place of the Latin alphabet. Several archaic letters were abolished and several new letters were introduced, designed by Pete himself. Letters became distinguished between upper and lower case. Western European typography culture was also adopted to this. The preformed letter forms, called whatever the frick that is, were notably retained in Church Slavonic and are sometimes used in Russian even today, especially if one wants to give a text a Slavic or archaic feel. Polistav, called Polistav, I think. Polistav.
The alphabet used for the modern Church Slavonic language in Eastern Orthodox and Eastern Catholic rites still resembles early Cyrillic. However, over the course of the following millennium, Cyrillic adapted to changes in spoken language, developed regional variations to suit the features of national languages, and was subjected to academic reform and political decrees. A notable example of such linguistic reform can be attributed to Vuk Stefanović Karadzic, who updated the Serbian Cyrillic alphabet by removing certain graphemes no longer represented in the vernacular and introducing graphemes specific to Serbian. For example, the following: distancing it from the Church Slavonic alphabet, in use prior to the reform. Today, many languages in the Balkans, Eastern Europe, and Northern Eurasia are written in Cyrillic alphabets.
So in summary, the Slavic languages are really diverse. However, all came from a common origin, and many speakers of Slavic languages are able to somewhat understand each other because of the shared grammar, vocabulary, and writing systems of the languages.
And with the Cyrillic script, which has come to define the modern perception of Slavic languages, the whole quote-unquote style of Slavic languages, it is clear that it has come in many different forms. Cyrillic is ever-changing as the alphabet is used in different ways by different languages. For example, the pronunciation of some letters are completely different between Ukrainian and Russian. This shows that the Cyrillic alphabet is used to be adapted to the sounds of a language. And Cyrillic has been fossilized in a way, as Old Church Slavonic, which, using an early form of Cyrillic, is still used as a literary language for religious groups today. Talk about conserving history.
Each language still has its own unique identity, but it's still cool to see how speakers from different parts of the world can still understand each other in a way. I went to Paris and literally a guy from Yugoslavia and a girl from Poland were able to understand each other, even though they spoke like completely different Slavic languages. It was pretty cool. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to Dawg to get more of the best language content you will ever find in the entire multiverse. Also, for more goofy content, make sure to subscribe to Language Dawg, my solo channel. But be careful, since if you learn about my ancient wisdom in my videos, you might become too smart for your own good.
Whatever you say, dog. Bye, adios, tschüss, salut, and do svidania.
До свидания. Salut.